If you're a business owner or a social media manager who is tired of posting randomly and hoping that something sticks, this is the video for you. Welcome back to part 2 of our series of developing social media strategies for service-based businesses. I'm Maddie, the founder of Hollis Creative Media, and in this series, I'm breaking down the exact process we use with our clients to create social media strategies that actually work for them. Now, if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend taking a second, going back and watching that video, because there we covered the entire foundation that's absolutely necessary for developing a social media marketing strategy that actually works for you. We learned how to understand your target audience, how to analyze your competition, and how to stay on top of industry trends so that you can stay relevant and give your audience exactly what they're looking for. And all of that research that we did, we're about to put it to work in this video. Because here's the thing, research is amazing and it's beautiful and it's valuable, but if you don't know how to implement it into your social media strategy, it's useless. So in this video, we're taking everything that you learned in part 1 and we're gonna turn that into an actual strategy. We're talking content pillars, monthly themes, developing a content calendar, basically all of the essentials that you need to have a strategy that's developed and ready to go, to where all you have to do after that is create your content and put it out into the world. So let's go ahead and dive in. Before you start plugging ideas into a content calendar, which I hope you're at least taking that step and planning your content, you need to establish what I like to call content pillars. Content pillars are the core themes and topics that you make sure that you include in your content through and through. Think of them as the foundation of your content strategy, and everything that you create and post is going to fall into one of these themes or buckets of content. I typically recommend having 4 to 5 content pillars, ideally one for each day of the week or one for each day that you will be posting content. This is how we're going to make sure your content is diverse, balanced, and actually aligned with your brand and your message in your business. So how do you decide which pillars you're going to use for your content pillars? This really depends on your goals and what you feel like your audience needs from you and what you feel like you want to provide to your audience. This goes back to what we talked about in our first video, and really taking the time to make sure you understand what your goals for social media are, or if you're a social media manager, what your clients' goals for social media are, because that's really going to be the basis and the foundation of the content that you're putting out on social media. But let me give you some examples so I can make sure that this makes a little bit more sense. Let's say you are running a marketing agency like me. Your content pillars, like mine, might include something like social media strategy tips, behind the scenes content of your business and the client sessions that you go to, client testimonials and success stories, industry trends and platform updates, portfolio highlights, gear tutorials. With those pillars in place, you can now generate a whole list of content ideas under each pillar that you can then take, elaborate on, plug them into a calendar, and create pieces of content revolved around those topics. And because you plan them out strategically based on what your goals are and what your audience needs are, it's really just consistency and time after that. They're gonna give you structure so that you can make sure that you're not scrambling trying to figure out what you should post. So how do you actually choose content to go into your content pillars? First, you're gonna think about the expertise of your business. What could you talk about for hours without getting bored? That's gonna be pillar number 1. Second, consider what your audience actually needs. What questions are they asking you all the time? What problems are they trying to solve? Your content should answer those questions, and you can have an entire content pillar dedicated to answering those questions. Third, and this is gonna be super important, what supports your business goals? I talked about this in the first video, how important it is to really get clear on your business goals. So if your goal is to generate more revenue for your business, one of your content pillars should be sales, should be content that is dedicated to helping you generate more revenue. If you're trying to sell a course, one of your content pillars should be dedicated to content from and about your course. If you want to book more clients or showcase your processes and your results, a content pillar should be dedicated to that. And like I mentioned, I recommend starting with at least 4 to 5. One for every day of the week that you would be posting is ideal. That way you can literally have your content planned out to where each day of the week is going to focus on a specific pillar and a specific topic. If you have any less than that, your content's going to become repetitive. And if you have any more than that, you're most likely going to lose focus on what you should be posting on social media. So something that we like to implement for our clients and even ourselves are monthly themes. I'm a planner, and monthly themes are a great way to ensure that your content and your plan is actually aligned with your goals. Essentially, monthly themes are when you choose an overarching focus or a topic for the entire month. You're creating a cohesive narrative throughout that month. And this does a few things. It keeps your messaging consistent. It makes content planning so much easier. Plus, it allows you to go deeper into specific topics instead of just skimming the surface. So let me give you some examples of how we implement this into not only our social media strategy, but also some strategies for our clients. We have a med spa client who launches monthly specials every single month. So what we do is we structure all of her content around whatever services she is going to be promoting that month. This does not mean that every single piece of content that we post is promoting that product. No, that's not what I mean at all. However, if she has a specific product or specific service or specific treatment, we take the time to include educational content about that product, treatment, or service. We create fun, trendy videos about that product, treatment, or service. We find a way to balance out her content calendar based around her content pillars that also include the product, treatment, or service that she is highlighting that month. So let's say she's highlighting HydraFacials for the month of March. That entire month, we're educating her audience on HydraFacials in many different ways. We can show the process. We can show before and afters. We can answer common questions. It's a new service. So what is it that her audience doesn't know about HydraFacials that they need to, that would encourage them to buy into this service? Another example is this year, from December to January, we're going to be focusing on the theme of how to take your content more seriously, because we know that a lot of business owners around January, New Year's resolution, they're going to be wanting to take their content more seriously. So we're dedicating the months of December and January to teaching business owners how to take their content more seriously. Instead of sitting down every single day and wondering what to post, you already know what you want to focus on for that month. You just need to create content and create a plan that's actually going to support that. And from your audience's perspective, this is going to build trust. When they see you consistently talking about a specific topic, even if it feels like you might be just being so repetitive for yourself, as long as you're not saying the exact same thing in every single video, maybe you're bringing new insights and building on top of each idea as you go throughout the month, it's going to position you as an expert in that area. You're not going to be all over the place posting random stuff every single day and they're going to be like, oh wow, they do this, oh they do this too, oh they do this. No, you're going to become known as the person who's really highly skilled in this. And what's great about that is, like I said, social media is ever evolving. If you're trying to get into social media and trying to build a platform on social media, I mean, isn't the goal to go as long as you can? Like you're just going to go for a few months and then stop? No, you're going to want to continue to build on top of the content that you've been putting out. So instead of feeling like you need to cover everything all at once, coming up with a monthly theme really helps you make sure that you're structured and that you're spending enough time talking about what it is that you want to get out to your audience. And once we feel like, okay, they've got a grasp on that, boom, let's elevate on that a little bit and let's talk about this month. And that cycle just keeps continuing until you got a following on social media and you're known for being an expert in your field. All right, now let's talk about putting all of this into a content calendar. A content calendar is exactly what it sounds like. It's a schedule that maps out what you're posting and when you're posting it. It is just the icing on the cake to making sure that you're organized and that you are setting yourself up for success, and you're never gonna have to feel that worry of, oh my God, I don't know what to post. A content calendar is bringing your content pillars and your monthly theme together to create an actionable posting plan. And the key here is sustainability and consistency. Posting randomly whenever you feel inspired is not a social media strategy. You need a system that's gonna keep you consistent without leading you to burnout, because social media burnout is real and it needs to be taken more seriously, and it really needs to be considered if you're a business owner creating your own content, or if you're a social media manager creating content for someone else. You need to make sure that you're coming up with a plan that you can actually keep up with, because it is a full-time job, especially if you're filming, especially if you're editing, especially if you're coming up with captions and you're running a whole other business on the side of all of this, or you're a social media manager managing multiple clients. You need to make sure that your social media strategy and your plan is actually sustainable. A content calendar is going to take the guesswork out of the content creation process. And it really helps you see the big picture. And like I said, just make sure everything is balanced. It's the best way to make sure that maybe you're not over promoting, you're not being too salesy, you're letting people see what's really happening with you and inside the business. You're making sure you're including enough information and enough education to actually make your audience trust you. So the first thing that you need to do is decide on your posting frequency. And I'm gonna be completely real with you. The more you post, the more you're telling the algorithm that you're active, the bigger chance you're giving yourself of being seen. The algorithm rewards consistency and it rewards volume. But, and this is a really big but, you also need to make sure that your frequency is actually sustainable for you and your team. No amount of social media success is worth burnout. I always recommend posting anywhere from 4 to 6 times a week. And that's really a sweet spot for most people and most businesses. And when you're building a content calendar, balance is everything. You don't want to post 5 educational videos in a row and then all of a sudden only post promotional content for the next week after that. That's gonna feel super off and really inauthentic to your audience. So it's really important that you mix it up and rotate in between those content pillars that we planned so that your feed stays dynamic and engaging and bingeable, because realistically, we want people to be able to binge your content. So if you're overloading them with education and you're overloading them with sales information, that's not going to create a great user experience for your social media profiles. It's just not. So if you post on Monday about a client success story, and then you post Tuesday about an educational tip within your industry, and let's say Wednesday you post a behind the scenes or a day in the life piece of content, you're creating a cadence and a consistency within your content that's gonna make it really easy for your audience to enjoy scrolling through your content, especially if it's the first time someone follows you. I don't know about you, but anytime I find someone new that I really like, the first thing I do is actually go to their profile and look through their content to see if they have enough diversity to where I actually do enjoy all the content that they put out, not just the one video that happened to go viral that I happen to enjoy. And here's something really important that kind of speaks to the sustainability aspect, but also the flexibility that you should have with your social media platform. I have made this mistake. You don't want to plan and pack your content calendar so tightly that you're creating this level of expectation and this opportunity for you to fail if you can't keep up with it. But then also, you don't have space in your content calendar that if something relevant or something trendy pops up that's perfect for your niche and your platform, there's no room for it within your content calendar. So what should actually be included in your content calendar? At minimum, you need the date that you plan on that piece of content to go out, the type of content that you want that to be, maybe even your content pillar that it's from, so you can make sure that your calendar is balanced. And then I like to work out all of the details of the content. So I'll work out hooks or even various hooks, which we're going to talk about in the next video. I'll work out the meat and potatoes of the content. So what is it that I actually want to say in the video? Or if it's a carousel post, what is it that I want to make sure that I include in that? I'll make sure that I include the call to action for that post. And I'll even sometimes include what day I want to film that on if I'm filming in advance. Essentially, the more organized you are, the easier executing your content becomes. Now, I'm not gonna do a full deep dive into creating a content calendar here because this video would last like a million years. But I am actually gonna create a separate video where I show you the Notion template that I create that we use with our clients and ourselves to help us create balanced and sustainable content calendars. The goal is to just create a plan. In the next video, we're breaking down how to structure valuable content. Hooks that stop the scroll, how to script your content, creating CTAs that actually convert, and the difference between each different content format that you can include in your content strategy. If you found this video valuable, subscribe because we are including the full training that we will be using for our entire team and so much more right here on YouTube. Let me know any questions you might have in the comments and even take it a step further and let me know some content pillars that you've come up with for your niche in your industry. And if you're a business owner who's realized that they might need a little more help with developing a social media strategy for your business, we provide everything from full social media strategy development to a complete hands-off social media marketing experience for service-based businesses. Check the description for the details on how to work with us, and I will be seeing you in the very next video.